there, everybody. Excuse my cough. Purpose of this video is to get you guys some solutions to the second expectation quiz, which is the one about the European roulette wheel versus the American. So the American one we did a quiz on in class. It's got 2 green spaces, 18 red, and 18 black. The difference, and the first question of the quiz, is what is the difference between European wheel and an American wheel? In the European wheel, pretty straightforward. It only has 1 green space. 1 green space. But it still has 18 red spaces and 18 black ones. So you've got total of 37 spaces instead of 38. So that's the big difference. 1 fewer green. And that's going to have an impact on the payouts. And you'll see those in a second. That's the point of the quiz, really, is to see how that impacts your payout. At first it sounds great, right? Because we discussed in class the reason a roulette wheel is kind of fun is it's really close to 50-50, except it's not 50-50 because of those 2 green spaces. Well, if you take one of those spaces away, it's like, well, maybe it's even closer, except it's not, still not. It's right either, depending on how you're looking at it, above or below 50-50. So let's analyze. This is question 1. And question 2, which I guess we'll put over here. You're looking at a bet on red. Yeah, bet on red. So there's 18 red spaces, right? So if you're betting on red, you got 18 ways to win. So the chance of winning, on red, that's or. Let's use the correct spelling of the words I'm saying. Winning on red is going to be 18 out of 37. There you go, which means the chance of losing is the other 19. So again, just right below 50-50. So to figure out on average what's going to happen, you got to look at your payouts, and you got to look at the likelihood of those payouts. Okay, so there are 2 payouts for any of these games. You win or you lose. So if I'm going to put the win and lose in a little tiny blue, win or lose. Okay. If you win, you earn back your $1. And, now remember why. It's 2-to-1 pay. So if you bet $1 and win, they're going to hand you 2, which clears you $1. If you lose that ante. Nothing comes back to you, so you lose the ante. Then it's just a matter of sticking in the correct probabilities. 18 37ths and 19 37ths. Make sure these always sum to 100%. You're golden. Okay, so to do the average is the weighted average of this distribution. So your average is just going to be that times that plus that times that. And if I did my math correctly, that's going to be -1/37th, which is right around a loss of 3 cents. Just ran the math before I hit record. I get -$0.027, which is -2.7 cents. So on average, you're going to lose just about 3 cents every time you bet on red. Now remember, this is better than on the American wheel, because on the American wheel you have 2 green spaces, which drives this down even further and raises this up even further. This is 18 out of 38, 20 out of 38. But still, it's still negative, which means the casinos are still making money on you, which is the whole point, right? Of course. All right. Now, we're also going to analyze a bet on green, that 1 green space. What's the chance of winning if you hit that 1 green space? Well, there's only 1 of them, so it's 1 in 37. So to analyze how much you're going to win betting on green, we just have to create our distribution again. We know there's only a 1 in 37 chance of winning, which means there's a 36 out of 37 chance of losing. If we lose our $1, right? What do we win if we win? It's a 36-to-1 payout, which means they give us $36 back for every $1 we bet. We clear 35. We clear 35. And then it's just a matter of running the average again. But what's so clever about this is, you'll see it in a second, your average once again, is that times that plus that times that. It's $35 times 1 over 37 plus -1 times 36 over 37. Check out what happens. It's actually pretty cool. You end up with 35 37ths minus 36 37ths, which means you end up with -1 37ths again. Remember where -1 37ths was before? Right there. It's different fractions, but you get the exact same result at the end. It sums to the same -1 32nd, which means you once again can expect to lose 2.7 cents on every dollar you bet on green. Pretty cool. Black would have the same payout. And if you look at the Wikipedia page for European roulette, actually they have a whole page on European and American roulette. All those negatives just lined up there. It's never positive. So then I gave you an extra credit if you wanted to shoot for it. Why don't we, if there's a 1 in 37 chance of winning on green, that means on average I can expect to win 1/37th at a time. So why don't we just take our money, say 37 bucks, and make 37 little piles of $1 a piece, and then bet $1, $1, $1 on green each time. Because you know if you hit green, you're gonna win 35 bucks. So just play those $37 individually, and there's a pretty good chance you're going to hit green on one of them. So won't that make our money last longer? And the logic is, yes, there's a pretty good chance that you will hit green within the first 37 spins, but there's also a pretty good chance you won't. It's not like it's lopsided greatly. Here's what I'm talking about. So watch this. What's the chance you lose on a bet of green within 37 spins? Now this might sound like something that's exceptionally hard to figure out, but it's actually pretty straightforward. All you got to do is just think about what it's like to continually lose at a game like this. Okay, so what's the chance you lose on the first spin? Doesn't come up green. Pretty good. It's 36 37ths. 36 out of 37. What's the chance you lose on the second spin? Well, it's still 36 out of 37. But in order to lose on both of those spins, you have to lose on the first one and the second one. And we learned in class that and means to multiply. So 2 spins would be that squared. 3 spins would be that cubed. 37 spins would be that to the 37th power. And if I did my math correctly, which I don't think I remember anymore, I can crunch this really quickly for us. Hang on 1 second. I believe it's somewhere around 30%, but let me just double check the decimals. 36%. Which means that means there's a 64% chance that you will hit on green within the first 37. So make the math easier, call it 2/3. So if you were to do this grand experiment of spinning the wheel 3 times, you can expect on 2 of those you'll hit green before, and on one of them, roughly one of them, 36% of the time, roughly 1 in 3, you won't hit green. The problem is, these are all averages, they're not promises. For example, if you spin the wheel 36 times and don't hit green at all, the wheel isn't obliged to give you a green on the next roll. It's all averages out. And you might get a bunch of greens in a row, too. I mean, that's all possible. The idea is there's an average. There's an average. You can't beat this probability, and you can't beat that average. Unfortunately, although, no matter how good it sounds, it's all probability and not certainty. So that's the fun of this one. Hope that helped. We'll see you around.